Can using an air fryer really create a cancerous meal? Let's break it down. Yes, if used incorrectly, air fryers can potentially produce harmful compounds that may increase the risk of cancer. The primary concern here is something called acrylamide. Acrylamide forms when starchy foods like potatoes, bread, and processed snacks are cooked at high temperatures. This chemical is produced through the Maillard reaction, which is what gives foods that crispy texture and golden brown color. But here's the issue. Acrylamide has been classified as a probable carcinogen by the International Agency for Research on Cancer. While studies on humans are still ongoing, long-term exposure to acrylamide has been linked to certain cancers in animals, so it's something to be cautious about. Now let's talk about how this applies to air fryers. Air fryers work by circulating hot air around your food to cook it quickly and evenly, often at temperatures above 180 degrees Celsius or around 350 degrees Fahrenheit. This method is definitely healthier than deep frying because you're using little to no oil, but here's the catch. Those high temperatures can still cause acrylamide to form, especially when you're cooking starchy foods like potatoes or breaded items. So what's the real risk? If you're air frying foods like French fries, potato chips, or breaded chicken, and you cook them until they're dark brown or overly crispy, you're more likely to end up with higher levels of acrylamide. The darker and crunchier the food, the more of this chemical could be present. But don't worry, there are ways to reduce the risk. First, avoid overcooking. Try not to let your starchy foods like potatoes, fries, or breaded chicken get too browned or burnt. Aim for a light golden color rather than a deep brown. Overcooking leads to higher acrylamide levels, so you'll want to keep an eye on your food as it cooks. Second, soak your potatoes. If you're air frying potatoes, one way to cut down on acrylamide is to soak them in water for about 15 to 30 minutes before cooking. This removes some of the surface starch, which helps reduce the amount of acrylamide that forms during cooking. Third, lower the temperature. Air fryers often cook at high heat, but you don't always need to crank up the temperature. Lowering the temperature and following recommended cooking times will help you minimize acrylamide production. Avoid speeding up the process by blasting the heat. It's tempting but risky. Fourth, focus on non-starchy foods. Acrylamide forms mainly in starchy foods, so try air frying non-starchy vegetables like carrots, zucchini, or bell peppers. These don't produce acrylamide when cooked, so you can enjoy them with peace of mind. There's another thing to consider: processed foods. Frozen processed foods like fries, nuggets, or breaded fish often already contain some levels of acrylamide because they're pre-cooked during manufacturing. If you're air frying these, cooking them at high temperatures can boost those levels even further. Just another reason to cook carefully. Now, I want to stress that acrylamide is found in all kinds of foods, not just those made in air fryers. You'll find it in anything from baked goods to roasted coffee. The key here is moderation and following safe cooking practices. It's about being smart, not scared. In summary, don't overcook your starchy foods. Soak potatoes before air frying, cook at lower temperatures to minimize acrylamide formation. Stick to non-starchy vegetables when possible, and watch out for processed frozen foods that might already contain acrylamide. So while there is some risk with air fryers, if used incorrectly, it's manageable. With proper cooking techniques, you can enjoy your crispy, delicious meals safely.